I really like they have a very unique sound. You can tell it's sound.
Nice.
But I like Pacific Coast Highway and and I like a lot of their music.
We are live. That's wrong.
Oh, we are? Oh.
Did you say anything?
No, I just was talking about
music.
Music.
Music is good.
I was just talking about it. You know you started like 10 minutes early.
That's why we got the music going. We're just having a nice little conversation.
Oh, okay. I should have made some coffee.
Right? More coffee.
More coffee. I need one. Yeah, that's a fun one.
That's a neat one. That's a neat one.
Tornado, I see you coming around. Don't let go, you know I'm holding you down. People shouldn't change like the weatherman. People shouldn't change if they innocent. People act strange when it's getting out of breathe. So let me be your oxygen. Lean on me, I will stay. Everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them move, hear them say. Trying to breathe but you're feeling strange. Ooh, feel like you're living but you might be better off dead. If you're going under, then I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. Domino, this world keeps knocking you
My hair
down.
always sticks up everywhere.
Let them know no one can push you around.
By the way, you can fast forward through this part so the show starts.
Everyone is leaving and you're feeling scared. See them move, hear them say. Trying to breathe but you're feeling scared. Feel like you're living but you might be better off dead. If you're going under, then I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. Laughing with the demons in your head. They don't mean nothing. They don't mean nothing. No. Beating off the words They don't mean nothing, though. Please don't go. I will stay when everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them go, hear them say, trying to breathe but you're feeling strange. Please don't go. I will stay when everyone is leaving and you're feeling strange. See them go, hear them say, trying to breathe but you're feeling strange.
Do you need me to? Yeah, it's telling me.
Feel like you're
You
living
need
but
to
you
leave it
might
more,
be
right?
dead.
There you go.
Is that better?
If you're going under, then I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. I'll be your oxygen. So nice to meet you. Smell it on the pillow when she leaves. And when I think about it, get that feeling. Get it in the morning when I'm ready. Smell like gardenia. Smell it on the pillow when she leaves. And when I think about it, get that feeling. Get it in the morning when I'm ready. Sweet sense of meaning, how the garden grow, how it bloom and what it teach you. Started as a seed, now I'm walking through the chocolate. Between green. Wise man said to me, give all your love for free. And what you're giving in return is more than you can earn. And when you're ready to find real wealth, put another before yourself. Cause it's lonely at the top until we all have got a spot. Hey now, would you like a seat? I've been walking for a while. Do you need something to drink? I've been waiting on a smile just to see what you would think. It's the closest thing to magic that my eyes have ever seen. Oh, my life is so complete. A little bit of salt with a little bit of sweet and a whole lot of laughs wrapped up in family. Yeah, I'm stepping on the gas till my dreams aren't in my sleep. Yeah, a wise man said to me, give all your love for free, and what you're giving in return is more than you can earn. And when you're ready to find real wealth, put another before yourself. It's only at the top until we all have got a spot. Oh boy, I'm turning up the heat, gotta keep it buzzing like a busy bee, working in the street, cause I find that nothing is to something that I need to be complete. Yeah, I'm rolling to the rhythm of a never-ending beat, yeah. Okay, love is all you need. Everybody says it, but the doing's incomplete. There's a
We're about a minute away.
that are ready to receive, don't be afraid. There's
Less than a minute.
nothing that you're about to meet, yeah.
You did have plenty of time, didn't you?
A wise man said to me, give all your love for free, and what you're giving in return is more than you can earn. And when you're ready to find real wealth, put another before yourself. 'Cause it's only at the top till we all have got a spot.
All right. Okay. Hello, welcome. Hello, everybody from GCQ family. I appreciate you showing up here or watching this later. We do have some sponsors now this year. So if you go to earthway.com and you type in GCQ25, you can save 10% on anything there with free delivery to your house. So that's kind of a neat little thing. If you need a new spreader or a little hand spreader, or they used to have some snow shovels. Not sure if they still have those. We won't need those for a while. So we'll talk about that. So happy Easter weekend, right? That's awesome. I didn't really expect to. I was going to think about skipping today, and then I thought about all the things that's going on in turf right now, and I was like, we better do one. So, because I need to mow for my second time. We just had an alert that showed us where crabgrass is early germinating, right? And so right there is our new little screen, and you can see it's in our area now. So what that means is not that you're too late, definitely, right? I've heard that a lot. Am I too late for this or am I too late for that? So it's the time period in which it starts, and this is early germination. So that means it's going to be in spots that are along sidewalks and driveways and things like that. They get really warm, and not everywhere. It needs a duration. So it's just the beginning of the early stage of germination of crabgrass, right? So we're going to probably send out a notification for Monday to start the application. No, we are going to send out a notification Monday to start the application. You can put it down anytime between Monday and the middle of May. So May 14th will be the tail end of the application window. Now, if it's past that time and for some reason you haven't got it down, because I get this question all the time, they say, is it too late to put down the preventer? Well, definitely not, because preventers stop things from germinating anymore, right? And so say that you are, for some reason, you got out there and you didn't get it down until June 1st, and you put it down finally, and then you stop the rest of the weeds for the season, and you might have a few little breakouts of areas that'll have a little bit of crabgrass, maybe, right? So it's never too late to put down a preventer unless the season's over, right? Then it is. I mean, if it's August, well, crabgrass stopped germinating finally, right? So it's never too late to put things like that down. Another example of that is in the landscape, our preventers, right? I mean, it's kind of still in the heartbeat of better get it down before these summer annual weeds start popping, because those are the guys that are a pain. And even if you're a little late, right, you can still put it down and stop any more from coming up, right? Now, you have to go in and pick out any weeds that have popped up before you apply that application to stop the future ones, right? Because if you apply it and then you pull those weeds out, then you're going to break that layer and you have to reapply in that spot again, right? So, it is time to put those things down starting Monday. Even if you did the application this weekend, it'd be okay. But I try not to just jump on it, right? I try to mow and make sure I mow my grass 3 full times. This weekend, actually today, it's really started to grow. Soil temperatures bumped up to 59 degrees already. So that means everything's going to start waking up. You watch this week, if you mowed this weekend, you're going to need to mow probably Wednesday or Thursday. You watch. And because it's going to be 80 degrees this week and 70 degrees. So be ready. Your shoes better be on now, because we're certainly in the mowing season. It starts today. All right. And so, one thing that I love to tell people is that the most important thing about maintaining a lawn is mowing and watering. Those 2 things. And they're the hardest things to get down. For one, some people just don't simply have the time to mow often enough. Right. And so, they're mowing once a week, and it kind of gets heavy and it leaves clumps, and then they end up bagging it, and then they're pulling nutrients away. It puts a little shock to the grass system. If you're cutting it while it's too high, it thinks, oh no, I need to use more carbohydrates. This is roots, right? In order to replace all that leaf tissue I just lost. So it's best to try to do it as frequently as you can get away with. And what I mean by that is at least between every 3 to 5 days. That's a much better window. I do 5 days Sometimes I shrink it up when I have the time to do that, but I do every 5 days, which is at the tail end of what I can stretch it out to be, right? And when I do it every 5 days, it feels like it's once a week because it's every 5 days. And so I can get away with that. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I got to mow again. It's been 3 days and it's growing like crazy. That's typically during this spring flush. And so you wait to see, because grass really hasn't kicked off yet as far as it's real growing, but you'll see it this week. And so you're going to have to start to really mow and stay frequent with that. And so it's going to be interesting. You're going to feel like, man, we're going to put that first app down. Really? We're going to add more nitrogen? You wait. At the end of this week, you're going to be asking yourself that question because it's going to be growing like crazy. And that's the whole purpose of throwing down winterizer, right? Why would we do a winterizer at all if we need to wake the turf up in the spring with fertilizer? That's not the right way to do it. It's not the right thinking. It's not how the plant likes it. And so you give it that food, and then you simply just have to wait for the soil temperatures to get warm enough to start letting all these carbohydrates that stored up last year to start moving through the plant system. And it's just started to do that this weekend. And it's going to continue to do so more and more rapidly for the next 2 weeks. And then it'll be through its little spring flush. And then when you enter nitrogen into the system, it's not going to just exacerbate that growth and actually end up using up more carbohydrates. That's why this first app can be kind of important, because we're getting ready to go to the hot season, right? And cool season grass, hot season's not good, right? So we want to just be as gentle as we can. And that's another thing about the frequent mowing as well. That's really important, because if you mow it and you're trying to cut off only a third of the plant at a time. So say, for example, you decide I'm mowing my grass at 3 inches, then that means every time my grass is 4 1/4, that's when I should be mowing it. Now, if it's 4 1/2 or even 5, you can get away with that, but you're trying to cut off only a third of that plant at a time. And that will give it no stress. It will not feel that. It won't know it. It'll recycle that stuff. You won't have to collect your clippings. And so if you can get into a more frequent thing of mowing, then that's really good. And a lot of people say, well, I clump all the time and all this. And, try to do evening mowings when the turf is dry on the surface. That makes it easier. I'll also take my little flap and I'll kind of lift it up. And that way it'll kind of disperse it better. If I do end up with some clumps, I'll go out with a little hand blower or a backpack blower, depending on how big the yard is. And I'll just blow those little clumps around and they just disappear really quick. And then I'm not messy. We do have dogs and kids, right, that ran through the backyard, and they track in a little bit of stuff, but they're really, overall, I have not seen tons of turf wander into my house ever. Right.
Yeah.
And so as long as you're, doing it at the right time and it's kind of dry when you're cutting it. Now, my dogs still get green feet, and we always call them green feet. And it's funny, but that's just because the grass is freshly cut. Right. And so they get it on their feet and it stains their feet a little bit. No big deal.
No big deal.
So that's pretty awesome. And also you can get your irrigation up. I encourage you to get your irrigation up. This doesn't mean to start watering at any means, right? At all, right? Because remember, I said the 2 important things is mowing and watering. Well, you want the grass to be as tough as it can be and get the thickest cell walls it can get. And if you add more water, it's going to grow even faster, right? And so we don't want to mow more frequently, but we have to sometimes. But you can prevent frequent mowing by not overwatering. That's what makes you have to, because all these cells fill up with water and they're like, yeah, we're going to get some sunlight now. And then it just grows like crazy when you throw lots and lots and lots of water down. But we do want to get the irrigation up because we don't know whenever we're going to have a dry season. And we want to make sure it's operating properly before we turn it on, right? I don't want to be in the middle of June and I finally have to turn it on and it's hot and dry out. And I was like, oh, I almost forgot. And I kick it on and I'm watering and I realize that 3 of my heads aren't even rotating and I got dry spots that are dormant now. And now I'm behind the ball already in the beginning of the year, right? We want to try to keep those nice, deep, and timely waterings throughout the season so that we keep our grass once again under low stress, right? And so, getting it ready, making sure all your little stuff is working good, checking your times, increasing time so that when we are watering, we're watering it deep enough. Make sure you're trying to get a minimum of 1/2 inch of water per watering session. And then that way we can try to reach our 1 to 1.5 inches per week with 2 or 3 waterings, right? And sometimes we have to go to the 4, but it just depends. All right. So yeah, get your irrigation up, make sure it's working properly, and you don't have to rush to do it, but do it within the next few weeks before we do need it, because you never know. And with having our fertilizer and starting to put that stuff down, I'm probably about 2 weeks away from putting it down for me. But if I have to, I want to be able to water it in if there's no rain for some reason, right? Okay. Let's see. So yeah, it's kicked in early. Yeah, it's never too late. Do we have any questions out there?
Well, Gary said he just noticed POA in 2 small parts of his lawn this morning.
Yep. POA can stick out pretty good, in this time of year, because it's kind of got a lime green. It's been growing already. It's already starting to go to seed. When turf goes to seed, it starts to get this lighter color to it. It's kind of stays stunted and weird looking. So you can see POA annua in your yard. I mean, you can go out and try to pull it out and stuff, but then we got a hole we might have to seed. So sometimes I live with POA annua, and I just try to make sure I don't have conditions that are favorable for POA annua. And what's favorable for POA annua is frequent shallow watering, and you'll get POA annua every time. So you got to make sure that you are watering as least as you can, and do it as often as you can. And there might be situations you get into the middle of summer and you have to do it a little bit more frequently, of course, but still we want to try to really hold off so we can not favor POA annua or bent grass or POA trivialis, all these ones that are just water loving, ugly grasses that get in our yard. That's a good question. Yeah. Now, I also wanted to show some things.
Hold on.
You have to have the right equipment out there. And I tell you what, nowadays we're getting a little spoiled as home lawn guys. We got these electric sprayers nowadays, and they're awesome. And I've shown these in the thing, but having the right equipment is going to make your life a lot easier. And we used to always have to go out and use a pump sprayer, and we fill this awkward thing up, and we take this weird lid off that slides in and out right where we're putting our herbicides or whatever we're playing with, and we're getting a lot more exposure than we like to have, right? And so I'd rather have no exposures with any kind of chemistries that are outside of the foods that I need to eat to keep me healthy, right? So that includes cleaning supplies in the house, other stuff that you're using in the yard, and all that. So when it comes to using these equipment, I mean, these things have like a little port where you can charge them up, and you just click a button. It has even a shoulder strap, so you can strap it around you. It seals up really good, like it's an opening. You can just pour the stuff in. You're not getting the chemical all over something you're pulling out of this sprayer. And so this just makes life way easier. Have it on your shoulder, have it all zipped up, and just walking around, and you don't have to pump anything. Just zip, 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 and you can get weeds knocked out super fast. Now, this one's pretty cool. I've found it on Amazon. I bought a few more of them. It is £1.25 pounds. Sorry. It's £1.25 pounds, or $1.25 gallons, which I like because I like to do it in 1 gallon. And so I have extra room in there. So if I am adding dish soap and it gets a little foamy, I can get to my 1 gallon and not have to worry about like waiting for the bubbles to go down and fill it slowly again. Right. And then I can actually give it a good shaking too, which can agitate it and mix it even better yet when I have that extra space in there, make sure everything's tight. So I tell you, invest, if you want to take care of your own lawn, invest in a little electric sprayer. It's going to make life way easier, right? And you're always cleaning these things out after we're done using it. That's important. I mean, if you're spraying weeds, right, and you're going out and you get most of them and you have to stop and then you can't come back for a week or so to spray again, that's no big deal. But leaving it in your sprayer for more than a few months or over the winter especially can be really hard on the equipment. You need new equipment. And then what are you going to do with this this chemical, this herbicide that you're, this kind of all gunked up and messed up now, and you got to play with it and clean this thing out. So it's best just to rinse the thing out. The way that Purdue taught us to do it is you triple rinse everything, right? And so you'll take it and you'll fill up the container with some water, and you go out and you spray through the wand until it's just pure water coming out. And then you kind of do it again, and you do it again and do it again. And then the third time, I'll take warm water and a little bit of dish soap in there and really shake it up and get through there, and I can get it really clean. And where do we spray it out? We spray it out in the turf area. That's a really important spot to do it. It's safer. You're not going to get anything there. It's going to absorb. It's amazing. Actually, I was thinking about this the other day that we got a new well put in, and then you have to have your groundwater tested after you get a new well put in. And we've been fertilizing this property for almost 20 years, and I'm using all the golf course quality fertilizers, and I got a thick lawn, and well, I'm a turf scientist, so I'm doing a pretty good job of it. But what's awesome is the proof in the pudding when we got those water tested and there was zero anything in it. I mean, it was the purest water, not even iron in it. So we got lucky on that kind of thing, which is naturally in the ground. But there was no nitrates, there was no potassiums, no phosphoruses. There was nothing in that water. It was the best water you could drink. I was amazed. And so turf is great, and especially having a nice thick lawn, it really filtrates, including the sand underneath, filtrates your stuff and keeps your water clean. So that's important. A really interesting thing about spreading fertilizer, if you noticed, when people are using their drop spreaders, which is not the way you spread fertilizer, by the way, and you see somebody who's wandered through the yard with a drop spreader, and you just see these straight lines everywhere, right? Well, imagine if fertilizer moved around a lot, then why is it that these are almost like painted green lines when they use these drop spreaders, right? That's fertilizer doesn't even move an inch to the left or right in the turf at all, right? So keep your fert in the turf. So when you put this first application down, please, please, and please again, blow off all your hard surfaces, blow that fertilizer back into the turf area where it needs to be, and it's going to do its work, and you paid for it to be at, and we can keep on fishing and having all kinds of fun in the water, and that'll be great. We got any other questions for today? Oh, no, there's one other thing I got to show you too. This is fun. So we always and I'm not afraid of, even though I know that Roundup, glyphosate, right, is not a carcinogenic. It doesn't get you any kind of problems or things like that unless you're misusing it frequently and you're a certain body type that'll mess with you. But it's always nice to find new things. And so we found this new thing. We're going to start using it. It's safe for pets and kids and people. You can use it while they're all around. It's a Roundup type product, so it kills everything. It doesn't have any glyphosate. It's all natural stuff. And you just spot spray, just like our spot sprays for weeds. In the landscaping, can't do it in the yard. It'll kill the grass too. But yeah, I've been waiting for something cool like this for like cracks in the driveway, all kinds of fun things like that. Super safe. You can spray it when your kids and everything's around. So I'm going to start messing with these. We'll talk about how well they work compared to a real Roundup, right? And different things that people try to mix up themselves. And there's different ways that these products and these herbicides work. And so it's going to be interesting to see what this actually does. What's its mode of action in order to actually desiccate plants? So that'll be very interesting. Can't wait till you see what the results of this is. I need it to get warm and sunny. So maybe this week I can squeeze it in, but it needs to be warm and sunny. All right. Any other questions or anything? We're just really excited about this season. Get out there and mow. Get out there and get that irrigation going. We're going to be putting down fertilizer next week. And for the next couple weeks after that, have fun with it and get the nice yard. Mow frequently. Thanks for listening.